businesses will set up and they'll look like a legitimate massage parlor.
It is considered the oldest business in history. It's still not legal. How a local community is stepping up to get rid of that crime in their neighborhoods. When is an assault more than just a crime? What the law has to say about hurting the people you love, plus.
Also, bring a friend, because creepily looking into windows is much less suspicious when you've got two of you doing it.
Our JT Street breaks down a bungled Bexar County burglary attempt and how you can help catch these suspects before they really hurt themselves. South Texas Most Wanted starts right now. On any given day, there are more than 20,000 open warrants in Bexar County alone. You can make South Texas a safer place. Make the difference. Make the call. Good evening and welcome to tonight's South Texas Most Wanted, coming to you from downtown San Antonio. You know, we'd all like to believe that we know our neighbors, we know people who are familiar to us, but the numbers don't lie. There are sex offenders on every block, in every city block in San Antonio and Bexar County, and those are just the ones people can track. We're hoping you can add one more tonight. Jesse Garza is wanted by the U.S. Marshal Service for having an active arrest warrant for allegedly violating conditions of his a lifetime sentence to supervised release. According to authorities, it is a sentence well earned. Back in March of 2001, Jesse Garza was sentenced to 5 years in federal prison after pleading guilty to indecency with a child. He was also ordered to register as a sex offender wherever he goes after his release. The Marshal Service says Garza did not do that, and because of that, he was sentenced to another 2 years in federal prison and a lifetime of federal supervision. In March of 2014, Garza was also officially charged with violating the conditions of that supervised release because he failed to attend sex offender treatment and failed to report to his probation officer. Garza has been known to reside in San Antonio and Laredo. His last known residence, though, is in Dallas, but he could be going from city to city. The Dallas County is one of the highest ranking cities in Texas when it comes to sex offenders, with more than 5,600, according to the website homefacts.com. In Bexar County and San Antonio, there are more than 3,400 sex offenders registered. In Webb County, again, according to homefacts.com, there are only 214 registered sex offenders, mostly in Laredo, but let's again stress registered, because there are almost 7,000 sex offenders that are not registered. They're out there missing, and those are just the offenders that have been convicted and authorities know about. That brings us back to Jesse Garza. U.S. Marshals say the 51-year-old is known to have continuous contact with minor children, meaning there's always minor children around him, and that makes him a priority as they try to pin down his location. If you have any information on Jesse Garza, call our South Texas Most Wanted hotline at 210-462-1747. Again, 210-462-1747. Make the difference. Make the call.
Good evening. I'm Vanessa Gallegos. You know, being married can be tough sometimes, but when your differences become violent, the law and maybe the courts have a whole new category for you. That's what has one of our next two fugitives on the run tonight. Authorities can use your help finding Winter Lanham. Lanham is wanted on a charge of assault with bodily injury married. Yes, this is an actual charge in Texas, and although it does not differ a whole lot from assault with bodily injury of a total stranger, it might in the perception of a judge, particularly if the marriage continues to go south and you end up in divorce court. Her last known address is on Stony Bluff Street, just off of Wetmore near McAllister Park. And authorities could also use your help in finding Rico Michael Navarro. The 23-year-old is wanted for bailing on a charge of possession of a controlled substance of less than a gram. And as we like to say around here, not a lot of drugs, it's a lot of trouble. Navarro could be facing up to 2 years in prison and a $10,000 fine. His last known whereabouts are on the street called Three Wood Way. Yes, that is by a golf course. Mission del Lago Golf Course, to be exact, on the far south side of San Antonio. If you know anything about the whereabouts of Winter Lanham or Rico Michael Navarro, give us a call on our South Texas Most Wanted hotline at 210-462-1747. That's 210-462-1747. For South Texas Most Wanted, I am Vanessa Gallegos.
Thank you to our Vanessa Gallegos. You know, our next fugitive was born on the sunny West Coast, but authorities are hoping you will never let him see the light of day again. And he does not even know how much trouble he can be in. That's what makes him our South Texas Most Wanted. Medardo Orocho Araoyo Jr. is wanted by the U.S. Marshal Service for having an active arrest warrant for allegedly violating the conditions of his supervised release. Back in January of 2011, Rocha was sentenced to 2 years after pleading guilty to a charge of possession with intent to distribute cocaine. At that time, he was also ordered to serve 5 years of supervised release, but in 2012, after being released from federal prison, authorities say Rocha violated the conditions of that parole when he failed to complete a drug program and failed to report to his probation officer. Now, if you're a frequent viewer of this program, we tell this same story a lot. Fugitives who do the time behind bars, it's that pesky probation they are bound by law to do that lands them back in trouble. Now, if that is not enough, authorities say in June of 2014, a federal grand jury indicted Rocha on 2 more counts of possession with intent to distribute cocaine. Maybe he knew about those charges, maybe he did not, but the 26-year-old is facing a whole new round of trouble when authorities catch up with him. They are hopeful that will start tonight. Medardo Rocho Araoyo Jr. was born in California, but marshals do believe he now calls the San Antonio area home. If you have any information on where they might be able to find him, call our South Texas Most Wanted hotline. It is no longer just a street crime, and law enforcement says it's one of the hardest crimes to bust. Plus, is it tacos or is it politics? Our JT Street weighs in. South Texas Most Wanted is back in 30 seconds. Welcome back. You know, it's often referred to as the world's oldest profession. That doesn't make it legal. Recently, the Bexar County Sheriff's Office teamed up with the Leon Valley Police Department to bust up what they called a prostitution ring, and of all places, a strip mall. Authorities say it's the latest example of how people who know that oldest profession are learning some new tricks.
In these situations, we don't have the authority to just go shut down this business. It's not illegal to operate a massage business in this area. What is illegal is the act of prostitution.
The Bexar County Sheriff's Office recently arrested an employee of a Leon Valley massage parlor on the charge of prostitution. 35-year-old Athia Thorat was arrested on Wednesday, May 18th of this year at the VIP Avalon Massage Parlor. This was a business located on Bandera Road in Leon Valley. We say was because law enforcement received several complaints that the business was being used for prostitution. During an inspection, used and unused condoms were found at the location. The Leon Valley Police Department and their local code compliance worked with the Sheriff's Office to close the establishment due to the Sydney Ordinance violations. Authorities say it's a perfect example of how this crime is no longer just a street crime. It can be a complex one.
These places are very private, and in order to get evidence, you have to almost be involved in a situation where you are propositioned in order to have enough evidence to prove that this person is committing a crime.
For us, it's usually runaway situations, broken homes. Young women are coerced and tricked into a sexual exploitation, and then they're forced once they're in it. But at first, it's a coaxing and a tricksing. Oh, let me show you love and attention and money and this, and I'll take care of you. Hey, now you have to pay me back.
It's not just a matter of saying, hey, no prostitution. We have to track down these people who are being held against their will and those who are responsible for keeping them here as well.
Of course, they don't promote that. They're not going to tell you, hey, happy ending for whatever, right? But it's there, and it's usually presented during the course of the massage, and then reputation gets out there. So we'll catch up to them. It's not if, it's when.
Further arrests and charges are possible as this is an ongoing criminal investigation. For South Texas Most Wanted, I'm Trudy Stone.
Leon Valley Mayor Chris Riley says he is grateful for the effort made by everyone, and they continue to search for any unlawful business bringing unacceptable behavior into their community. All right, still to come. It's a crime that costs taxpayers millions of dollars, and it costs the government millions of dollars even to try to track it down. More South Texas Most Wanted to come. Edgar Santillano is wanted by U.S. Marshals for having an active arrest warrant for allegedly violating the conditions of his supervised release. Authorities say back in December of 2012, Santillano was sentenced to 3 years probation after pleading guilty to counterfeiting money. But while on probation, the 24-year-old tested positive for drug use and failed to report to his probation officer, so he could be looking at a whole new set of charges. Although he is originally from Arizona, Santillano is said to be a longtime resident of San Antonio, and authorities believe he is still walking the streets on San Antonio's south side. And no matter where he is, a tip from you can help authorities track him down and put him behind bars. If you have any information on Edgar Santillano, call our South Texas Most Wanted hotline at 210-462-1747. Again, 210-462-1747. Make the difference. Make the call.
Our next two fugitives are not in the counterfeiting game, but thanks to the information from people like you, they are also no longer on the run. 29-year-old Luis Garcia was wanted on a charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and assault with bodily injury, with the enhanced charge of that assault was against family or dating. Yes, this is a real charge, and this is significant because the punishment range could go beyond the normal 2 to 20 years. There is a good chance the victim in this case was not his mother, since Luis Garcia was picked up at his mother's house in Floresville. Authorities have also caught up with Orlando Carmon, a fugitive we first featured back in late February. Carmon was wanted on a charge of possession with intent to deliver a controlled substance of up to 200 grams. His charge could land him in jail for 2 to 20 years. He was picked up on the southeast side of town after some good work by some good people. You can make South Texas a safer place. Make the difference. Make the call. For South Texas Most Wanted, I'm Vanessa Gallegos.
Bexar County Sheriff's deputies are on the lookout for two guys who turned some surveillance camera shenanigans into a viral video sensation. JT Street breaks down how their break-in got broken on this week's They Say You Did What?
You know, these days it seems there's a YouTube how-to video for just about anything, from how to eat really healthy to how to eat chicken wings really fast.
We're gonna go like this, and then we're gonna twist it. Done.
I'm definitely going to be trying one of those videos out. You know which one. But recently, two Bexar County bandits made a YouTube video of their own, surveillance video style. Let's look as they teach us how to burglarize a building. Lesson 1, case the place. Breaking into a home is a lot easier when you don't have a shotgun-wielding, ticked-off Texas homeowner staring down the barrel. Also, bring a friend, because creepily looking into windows is much less suspicious when you've got two of you doing it. Lesson 2, wear gloves. You don't want to leave any evidence on the windows, which you'll encounter after you snap off a couple of screen doors and leave them in the backyard grass. Again, you don't want to leave any evidence on the windows. More on that in a minute. Lesson 3, bring the right tools. That little doodad there may do wonders at getting screen doors off, but it really won't do much when you're trying to jimmy open a window. Now that rock, on the other hand, might. Which brings us to lesson 4. Get rid of all the glass. You're going to be trying to climb through that little window in a few minutes, and you're going to make sure that all that glass is gone so that you don't cut you. Ooh, okay, lesson 5. Try and use your gloved hand to stop the bleeding. Lesson 6. Run out into the backyard and bleed all over the deck. Lesson 7. Panic. Panic and call your friend to help. Lesson 8. Throw all your evidence in the backyard and then run away screaming. There you have it. 8 simple rules for being a bungling burglar. Now, despite all their newfound celebrity and 50,000 plus views on YouTube, these two guys have still managed to escape being caught. So if you happen to be driving around and see these two bandaged bandits trying to break into a window or something, call police, or maybe an ambulance, or maybe a hearse. For South Texas's Most Wanted, this is JT Street with this week's They Say You Did What?
Odds are, if you aren't personally affected by autism, you know someone who is. One child in 68 is now diagnosed with autism, but early intervention is the key, and the clock is ticking for hundreds of San Antonio children. You can help. Go to oneinSixty8.org to learn more.
He's a Vietnam veteran who lost 2 legs to battle and still tried to go back. Almost 40 years later, he met up with a private businessman and former Marine who made the small step that is making so many lives better. And that's what makes them tonight's South Texas Most Wanted difference maker.
Basically, we're going to go out and try to capture a couple of prisoners and bring them back for interrogation. And we ran into a hornet's nest, and I got blown up. And
this was in Vietnam.
Yeah, in Vietnam. This is this one here happened on November 17th, 1967.
What's interesting is, I went through a lot of the same training as these guys did. So I trained just like they did, but I never had to go to combat. So I went through all the training, did all the things that they would do, and then they went to combat, and I got out in 98 or 99. So they ended up, getting injured or getting hit with IEDs and stuff like that. So I felt like it was, when the opportunity presented itself, I felt like it was my way to help give back to guys that had been through the training that I had gone through and, had to live with this life-changing event.
Actually, while I was in a hospital and I received my artificial limbs, I actually went down to see a lieutenant because I wanted to volunteer to go back to Vietnam. Being I was already a gunner, machine gunner and all that, I volunteered to go back and be a gunner on a helicopter, because then I wouldn't have to walk. And, Lieutenant thought about it a while and said, well, I'll have to take it upstairs. And he comes back down and says, no, it's not going to happen. If you can't pass the annual physical test and all that, then, you're not going to be able to stay in. And he said, besides that, what happens if the helicopter gets shot down? And, of course, my response back to the lieutenant was just like, sir, most of the time when helicopters get shot down, nobody walks away anyway. So what would be the big deal?
It's up to people just helping and getting involved to be able to make these things happen. We started doing these because we were in the kitchen and bathroom business, so we were able to do it. And so as we've started doing more of them, it's just we need more help with being able to pay for a lot of these products and services and stuff. And that's why we started the nonprofit last year.
This is what we're going to do, and he says we're going to add this, we're going to add that, and I'm going like, Giovanni, I don't need all that. I just need to be able to get in and whatever. So anyways, now we're going to do it right. He says either we do it right or we don't do it at all, more or less, And I said, okay, you're the man. And my wife was like almost in tears.
San Antonio is just a really good military city. I have really good customers, so I get a great response from people wanting to help, whether it's business owners wanting to get involved or just some of my customers or just people that hear us on the radio talking about it, that they call up or go on our website and give donations and stuff. So it's a great response from people all over the city.
It's got to make you feel good.
It's great. I love it.
These companies, these businesses, whatever, they have gone out of their way to take care of these vets today, and that's awesome. It really is. They're finally getting their due.
The Giovanni Project is a nonprofit that relies on the good work of everyone who wants to be involved. If you know of a group or an individual who are making a difference in South Texas, contact us on our Facebook page or call our South Texas Most Wanted hotline at 210-462-1747. For South Texas Most Wanted, I'm Trudy Stone.
Before we let you go, here is one last look at some of the fugitives featured here tonight. Jesse Garza is wanted by the U.S. Marshals Service for allegedly violating conditions of his lifetime sentence to supervised release. According to authorities, back in March of 2001, Garza was sentenced to 5 years in federal prison after pleading guilty to indecency with a child. He was also ordered to register as a sex offender wherever he goes after his release, basically for the rest of his life. U.S. Marshals say the 51-year-old is known to have continuous contact with minor children, meaning that there's always young children around him, and that makes him a priority as they try to pin down his location. Medardo Rocho Aragoyo Jr. is wanted by the U.S. Marshal Service for having an active arrest warrant for allegedly violating the conditions of his supervised release. Back in February of 2011, Rocha was sentenced to 2 years after pleading guilty to a charge of possession with intent to distribute cocaine. He was also ordered to serve 5 years of supervised release, but in 2012, authorities say Rocha violated parole when he failed to complete a drug treatment program and failed to report to his probation officer. Authorities also say in June of 2014, a federal grand jury indicted Rocha on 2 more counts of possession with intent to distribute cocaine. So the 26-year-old is facing a whole new round of trouble. Authorities are hopeful that trouble for him will start tonight. Authorities can use your help finding Winter Lanham. Lanham is wanted on a charge of assault with bodily injury married. That is an actual charge in Texas, and defense attorneys say it could be a damaging one in the eyes of a potential employer or the judge in a divorce court because of what it implies. You did not assault a stranger in a dispute. You are charged with assaulting your spouse. Lanham could land up to a year in jail. The 33-year-old's last known address is on Stony Bluff Street, just off of Wetmore Road near McAllister Park. And authorities could also use your help in finding Rico Michael Navarro. The 23-year-old is wanted for bailing on a charge of possession of a controlled substance of less than a gram. As we like to say around here, not a lot of drugs. It is a lot of trouble. Navarro could be facing up to 2 years in prison and a $10,000 fine. Now, his last known whereabouts are on a street called Three Wood Way. That is near Mission del Lago Golf Course on the far south side of San Antonio. If you have any information on any of these suspects, give us a call on our South Texas Most Wanted hotline. The number there, 210-462-1747. Make the difference. Make the call. That's going to do it for tonight's South Texas Most Wanted. For all of us staying late to keep you safe, we will see you next time. Stick around. Our nightcap with the app is coming up in 90 seconds. We'll see you soon.
Hey guys, DJ Mighty Iris here with your nightcap with the app, coming to you from the Alamo Lounge, powered by AA Best Bail Bonds. This week, they're a band from Derby, England, whose first major album has spilled 2 top 10 hits on the alternative charts this year. And we recently caught up with them on their recent visit to the Alamo Lounge. They are The Struts.
Saying I was bad for you, he got his way. I'm gone for good. Making up stories, keeping it secret, taking your word the truth. You were bad for me, so I'm gone for good. I did all I could, so kiss this one more time and I'm gone for good. Said you misunderstood, so kiss this one last time and I'm gone for good. Thomas said sorry, coming back crawling, didn't give a shit before he stole from me, so I'm gone for good. Hey! Getting back from this, no second chances, another phone call ignored, you're back for me, but I'm gone for good. I did all I could, so kiss this one more time and I'm gone for good. You misunderstood, so kiss this one last time and I'm gone for good.
The Struts will be playing in Austin for ACL in October. Let's pray that they come back to San Antonio very soon. Don't forget to join me weekday afternoons, and do not forget to tune in to the Valdez Alt Vault Saturday mornings and Sunday nights with Michael Valdez and friends on San Antonio's alternative station 103.3 The App. For South Texas Most Wanted, I'm DJ Mighty Iris. Good night.
What?